This is Change Your Mindset Podcast, the podcast that helps change your life by helping change the mindset of the 99% into the 1% mindset. Here's your host, Adrian Gomez.
Welcome back, everybody, to Change Your Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian Gomez. All these podcasts I do is things I actually care about. Obviously, referencing financial education, being the best version of yourself, physically, mentally, financially. Everything I talk about on these podcast episodes is something I care about. On this podcast episode, it's another thing I care about is the country we live in. Majority of us that listen to this podcast are listening from the United States of America. And what's happening right now is very sad, and it's disappointing what's going on in this country. Unfortunately, nowadays, a lot of people are becoming anti-America. A lot of people think this country has failed us. And a lot of people don't like the amendments, the Constitution, what this country was founded on. There's a lot of people that are against this country. And a lot of people are being brainwashed to not like it, which is very unfortunate because I strongly believe this is the greatest country in the world. And there's a reason why people migrate to this country. They come to this country because they want a better life for themselves. They sacrifice everything. Some people even die trying to come to this country. And it's unfortunate that people that are born here are becoming anti-America. One thing I realized recently is people that migrate here or immigrate here, they're very proud to be in this country. They know how lucky they are to be in this country. And they're the ones that realize wherever they came from, the opportunity here is way better. Because where they came from, you're leaving that place for a reason. Obviously, you come to America, it's a land of opportunity. You can be whoever you want. You want to make millions, you can do that. You just got to work hard. This is a land of opportunity for a reason. People come here for a reason. Majority of people that migrate in the world come to the United States for a reason, because capitalism works. But unfortunately, people nowadays are anti-capitalism, anti-patriots, and they're anti-America. And I realize the majority of those people are people that are born here, unfortunately. I believe that people born here don't realize how good we have it. We have really good compared to other people in the world. To us, if you're born in this country, this is normal. Living in a house, having a car, have clean water, being able to go to the market, buy food. We have it made. This is a luxury compared to the other side of the world and everywhere else. We're very fortunate and very lucky. And a lot of people don't realize that because they've never been outside this country. And they've always been here, and to them, this is normalized. Other people in the world have it very tough. They don't have markets. They don't have cars. The houses they live in, probably very small. We're very fortunate and lucky to be in this country, be born in this country. Because there's other places in the world that have socialism, communism, where you cannot do whatever you want. You cannot be whoever you want. And obviously, I always preach be the best version of yourself. You can't even do that in those countries. Obviously, you're talking about North Korea, China, etc. Countries like those, they have a dictator and you can't even do anything. And you want to see how good we have it here. Listen to stories of people that came from that country and who are lucky and very happy to be in this country because they have it so bad. You hear those stories, they have it really bad over there. And it's funny that they realize that people here are very ungrateful because they're anti-America, they're anti-capitalism, they want socialism. And they don't understand it because where they come from, that's where what they had. And it was bad. That's why they want to leave because, this is a better country and a better place to provide for your family, to raise kids, etc. But now people in this country want to go to where those people came from and their communism, socialism beliefs, and they want that. But they haven't even seen it firsthand. And that's the problem I believe we have in this country. And it's very unfortunate because, like I said, I think this is the greatest country in the world. We have freedom. Most places in the world don't have freedom. Unfortunately, nowadays, freedom isn't a luxury because some people aren't born free, which I think is very sad. But in this country, you're born free. And like I said, it's a luxury for us, and we should be very happy. But like I said, a lot of people nowadays are anti-America, which is very sad because they don't realize how good we have it in this country. And like I said, if you're the best version of yourself, you can go far in this country because you have the opportunity. Like I said, it's an opportunity for a reason. One thing that amazes me in this country is that people that immigrate here, those people end up being entrepreneurs and making millions. And I believe the reason for that is because they know how to work hard. And unfortunately, nowadays, people born in this country don't want to work hard. Most people are lazy. They don't want to do anything, and it's unfortunate. But what I realize, those people that immigrate to this country, they know that if they work really hard, they can make so much money, and they can be whoever they want. And they have the opportunity here because where they came from, they realize they don't have the opportunity. But once they hear, they make the opportunity work. And I believe if you're born in this country, you already have the opportunity. You don't have to go through any sacrifices, and you just take full advantage of it. Maybe for some of you that listen to this podcast, that your family came to this country from another country. I talk a lot about my father in these podcasts because he's the one I learned everything from, and I am who I am because of him. So I'm the first one born in this country. My father was born in Mexico City, and obviously his parents were born over there as well. They sacrificed everything to come to this country. They sold their businesses, they sold their house, they gave up everything just to come to this country for the American dream and for opportunity. They came here, they didn't speak the language, but they learned it and they worked. They worked hard. And I'm very fortunate to be in this country because they sacrificed a lot. They sacrificed everything. And I can't even imagine how that must have felt. Giving up everything, knowing you're coming to a country, you don't even speak the language. But they wanted a better opportunity for their family. And obviously for my grandma and grandpa, they wanted a better opportunity for their kids. So they brought all 5 of their kids here. My father was one of them. And they worked hard. They started their business here. They made a business. They worked very hard. And they were successful. They bought the houses. They were able to take care of their kids. And like I said, on my father's side of the family, majority of them are entrepreneurs. And they were all successful and they worked very hard in their businesses. And my father being one of them because, like I said, his business, he started late, but he was successful. He worked very hard, sacrificed a lot. And I respect him for that. And I have no excuse being born into this country and having the luxury that I do to be average, to just have a job, to live day by day, have weekends off. That'd be a waste of opportunity. That's why I always want people to be the best version of themselves, physically, mentally, financially. Because if you're born in this country, you have the opportunity. And like I said, it's a luxury to be born into this country. And don't waste the opportunity of being born here. A lot of people would love to be in this country. Some people would die to be in this country. And if you're born in this country, you're very fortunate. And don't waste your life being average. Don't be normal. Be the best version of yourself. Because like I said, a lot of people nowadays are anti-America, but they don't realize how good they have it here. And the sad thing about it is we have freedom to do whatever we want. Like I said, people don't know what that freedom costs. The only reason why we have freedom is because of somebody else's bloodshed. A lot of people died for this country, for we can have the freedom we have. And it's sad that people are anti-America, anti-patriots, anti-everything. Because a lot of people sacrificed their life for we can have what we have. It's very sad that we disrespect them like that. Because people gave up the ultimate sacrifice and gave up everything. But people just hate this country now. And it's really a shame. Because a lot of people died for this country. And those people sacrificed their lives because they believed in this country and what it stands for. And that's never be forgotten. There's a graph by Morning Consult that shows the net shares of each generation who say they are proud to live in the United States. First generation is baby boomers with a 73%. Next one is Gen X, 54. Next one is millennials, 36. And last is Gen Z, 16. It's unfortunate with each generation, people are becoming less and less patriotic and less proud to live in the United States. And that's why I say people born in this country don't realize how good we have it here and how much people sacrifice for the things we have and for the freedom we do have. There's an article by The Hill, and it talks about Gen Zers' beliefs. So it goes, a growing majority of young adults in the U.S. have a more negative view of capitalism. According to a new survey from Axios and Momentum, 54% of Gen Z adults said they had a negative view of capitalism, while 42 reported having a positive view, according to the poll. The number of 18 to 34-year-olds who have a positive view of capitalism also appears to be shrinking. The survey also showed shifting views on socialism. Overall, 41% of respondents said they had a positive view of socialism, and 54 said they had a negative view. This is scary that people are viewing socialism as better as capitalism. And it's unfortunate, like I said, people born in this country don't even know what socialism looks like. They've never been there, they've never seen it. And whatever people pushing on through these kids that socialism is good or their beliefs, these people haven't seen it firsthand. Like I said, they don't realize how good we have it here in this country. Capitalism works. Like I said, you come to this country, you can be whoever you want. That's up to you. You have the opportunity. If you want to be a nobody, you can be a nobody. If you want to be great, you can be great. That's totally up to you. Socialism, you're going to be like everybody else. And if you're okay with that, then maybe you should go to a country like that. But people that leave socialism countries and come to America for capitalism come for a reason, because they want a better opportunity and they can be whoever they want to be. And it's sad that people nowadays born in this country are viewing socialism more positive than capitalism. And that's very scary going forward with this country. Almost 40% of the country believes that wealth should be taken from the rich and given to the poor. With this being said, the rich and the middle class and the poor, there are big gaps between them. Do I believe the rich give more to the poor? The only reason why there's such a big gap, and I talk about it so much in this podcast, is because of financial education. A lot of us aren't financially educated. And like I said, I blame the school systems, because the school systems teaches you nothing about money, nothing about financial education. They teach you to get a job. That's all they teach you. They don't teach you about being an entrepreneur, capitalism, anything. So, like I said, the rich are rich because they know how the system works. They know how to pay the least in taxes, and this is all legal because they're financially educated. And for the poor, they don't know because they have jobs, they pay the most in taxes, and they're not financially educated. So would I say the rich give to the poor? I would say no, because I think this should be poor should be financially educated, and we should teach that in schools, but unfortunately we don't. And I think it's unfair for somebody who works very hard and financially educates themselves, makes a lot of money, just give that money to the poor, because they work very hard and they come to this country because you have the opportunity to make a lot of money and be whoever you want, and for you to work really hard for years and years and just being told to give that money to the poor, it's not fair. Why would people want to make a lot of money anymore? Why would they want to be rich? And this is not going for every rich person, because there are people that are filthy rich. I'm not saying for people like that. That's a different topic. I'm just saying for the average American who wants to live the dream and make lots of money. And they obviously might be immigrants, might be born here, but for the average American that wants a better life for themselves, I'm speaking about those people. Like I always said, we all have the opportunity to be rich or make a lot of money. You live in America, you have the opportunity, and you have to be financially educated to get there. But unfortunately, like I said, a lot of us aren't financially educated, and that's what separates the gap between us. And I strongly believe if we were financially educated, then you can make a lot of money and that close the gap. But then again, there are people nowadays that don't even want to work and want free money. And that's another topic that people just don't want to do anything and just want money. And I think that's unfair because people don't know what hard work is anymore. And it's unfortunate because people in other countries work very hard. Some people have to work 7 days a week, not because they want to, because they're forced to. And we're very lucky that we don't have to do that. But unfortunately, now in this country, people just don't want to do anything and are getting lazier and lazier and are becoming less and less patriotic and American. It's very sad and unfortunate to see. As an American, obviously, I love my liberty, I love my freedom, and I'm very lucky and fortunate to have it. And I'm going to read you two quotes from two different people. First one is from Barack Obama. So I quote, "I think it's important to understand that you can't have 100% security and then have 100% privacy and zero inconvenience. We're going to have to make some choices as a society." End quote. And that's coming from President Obama. So next quote comes from Benjamin Franklin. Quote, "Any society that would give up a little liberty to gain a little security would deserve neither and lose both." End quote. And that's from one of the founding fathers. It's funny that nowadays that people are willing to give up their rights and their freedom and their liberty just to be protected by the government. I mean, that's why this country was started, to not let that happen, for the government to have all this power. For you can have your freedom, you can do whatever you want, and your liberty in pursuit of happiness. But unfortunately, we're giving more and more power to the government, and we're okay with it. And little by little, we're losing our freedom and our rights. And it's very sad because the founding fathers created Constitution, amendments, all that good stuff when they founded this country to protect the United citizens from tyranny from governments. They set up everything they could to protect us. And now we're just giving it all away for a little security protection, because when you put fear into somebody, you don't think straight and you're just willing to do whatever you're told just to be secured. And it's unfortunate because you won't have your freedom anymore. You end up like China, North Korea, countries like those. But unfortunately, people don't see it like that. Some people don't even want freedom anymore. They just want to be told what to do. And I think that's absurd and crazy. Because at the end of the day, this is one of the few places in the world that still has freedom. The funny thing is, I was never super patriotic. I was never super American. But once I realized what was going on and what was really happening, like everything I'm saying, like the first thing, when your First Amendment's being attacked, freedom of speech, you can't say anything anymore, then I realized that something's wrong. If you can't say whatever you want anymore, that's one of your rights. And the second one, amendment of the right to bear arms. If they're trying to take away guns for a reason, it's for control. Everything that's in the Constitution is your right to protect you from tyranny and from the government. And once they start being attacked, they're trying to take away your freedom and they're trying to control you. Like I said, freedom of religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition. When they're attacking that, they're trying to take away your rights. They're trying to control you. That's what they do in China. That's what they do in North Korea. When they're trying to take away your arms to protect yourself, to protect you from tyranny, from the government, that's the only thing that stops the government from coming to your door, taking you out, is guns. Most people in the world aren't even allowed to have guns. And those people have to do what the government tells them because they can't fight back. And the government has guns and they don't. So let's say the government has guns, you have guns. At least you have a chance. But most countries don't have this chance. And we're very fortunate and lucky to have this chance because we can still protect ourselves and our freedom from tyranny and from corrupted governments. And once I realized these are starting to be attacked, I realized that I took all this for granted, unfortunately. And that's why I had to change my mindset, because being American, I was super lucky and fortunate. And I took it for granted, and once I realized they were being attacked, I might not have those rights anymore. And we could just end up like a socialist, communist country. And that's something I don't want. But I'm willing to fight for my freedom. Because at the end of the day, freedom isn't free. And if you're not willing to fight for your freedom, you don't deserve it. As I'll talk about in this podcast, how people are becoming less and less patriotic and, more anti-American throughout the generations as we become more and more brainwashed, because I believe that's what society is pushing upon us, whether it's in the school system, social media, pretty much everywhere. We're getting pushed that this country is awful. This country is racist. This country's failed us. This country isn't perfect. It never was. Yes, there was slavery when this country started, but it wasn't perfect. Back then that was normalized. Was it right? Of course not. But we grew from that. And we're not perfect as a country, but we're far ahead from everybody else because we have a lot of things that people in the world wish they could have. And we're very fortunate and lucky. But throughout the generations of people becoming more and more anti-American, we will lose everything. We will not be the country we are anymore. We will lose our rights. We will lose our freedom of speech, right to bear arms. We'll lose everything. As more and more Americans become less American, they will vote for socialism, removing the amendments, pretty much anything that keeps us free. And that's very sad and unfortunate because they don't realize that they're being brainwashed before they can get rid of everything and lose everything. We're one of the last places in the world that has this luxury of freedom, having cars, houses, going to the market to buy food. We're very fortunate compared to other places in the world. And people born here, like I said, we take it for granted. Like I said, I was born here. During my young ages, I did take it for granted because it was normalized. You're not born in a third world country, second world country. You didn't have to go through the sacrifices your parents, grandparents had to go through to come to this country. You don't see that, and you didn't have to go through it. So we take this for granted. And more people are taking this for granted, unfortunately. But people, like I said, people sacrifice a lot for what we have, especially our freedom. And if you love waking up to doing whatever you want, to go wherever you want, that's your freedom. And if you're okay with losing that, then I don't know what to tell you. Because if you lose your freedom, that's going to be the end of it. And I really hope people start waking up and realize what's going on, how they're being fed this anti-America, anti-capitalism, anti-patriot, and how they're being pretty much brainwashed to hate this country and to give up their rights and their freedom. And if people don't realize that, then we're probably going to lose it all. But I really do hope people start paying attention and understand what's really going on. Because by the time you realize it might be too late. You might lose your freedom, you might lose your rights, and by then, if you never did anything about it, you're gonna regret it. Because like I said, it's a fight. It's gonna be a long fight, and I hope you're willing to fight for this country and what it stands for. Because at the end of the day, we're very lucky, and I'm doing whatever I can. That's why I'm doing these podcasts, obviously, to help financially educate people, for people to be the best version of themselves, because we need more of it in this world. Because nowadays there's a lot of negativity, there's a lot of craziness going on, and it's unfortunate, and it's very sad. And this is not a future I want to see, not a future I would want to raise kids in, because obviously the rights and privileges we have right now, I hope that we can pass those on to our kids and their grandkids and their kids and etc. Because if we have these rights and we lose them and we can't pass it down to the next generation, that's going to be really sad, because they never had freedom. And I think that's very important. It's very important for a lot of people, I believe, because, like I said, freedom isn't free. You can't get freedom in the world, unfortunately. I wish we all were born free. Some places you're not. But, like I said, if you're born in this country, you're born free. And you gotta keep fighting for it. So, like I said, I hope people just realize what's really going on and start fighting back for what this country stands for. And gotta stop all this anti-America, all this propaganda that you're being brainwashed with, and their whole agenda, whatever it is, to destroy this country, start it all over as a socialism, communist country. Hopefully we're all willing to fight back. But like I said, it's up to you. At the end of the day, your decision. Hopefully you're an independent thinker. And, you do your research. You realize what's going on. Like I said, you don't have to listen to everything I say. If you don't believe me, that's fine. That's your decision. The only thing I wish that is that people actually do the research and educate themselves. Obviously, you don't want to listen to anything everybody says, because you hear a lot of things on news that it's negative, or sometimes it's not even real, or they cut up pieces. Whatever it is, just educate yourself, because the more you're self-educated, the more you will be to not being brainwashed, because a lot of people nowadays believe everything they're told, which is unfortunate, because like a podcast said did, that we need more independent thinkers. I believe it, because a lot of people can't think for themselves anymore, and I think that's very unfortunate. At the end of the day, I just want the best for everybody, because we have one life, and hopefully we can live it to our full potential. Like I said, we live in America, you have the opportunity to live it to your full potential. That's why it's the greatest country in the world for a reason. But unfortunately, little by little, that's getting taken away. And if you can't be the best version of yourself in this country anymore, that's very unfortunate, because you'll be very limited. But at the end of the day, it's your decision whether you want to stand up for your country or not. It's up to you. But some of us have a country to save. But I appreciate you listening to this podcast. As always, you can subscribe on whichever platform you listen to. It helps the podcast. I also have a Patron that I'll leave in the link below if you want to contribute. Helps grow this podcast. If I can grow it, reach out to more people, I'd appreciate that as well. Thank you if you do. But if you share with other people also, it helps out. Maybe we can educate more people, help more other people, because at the end of the day, I want to help more people, and I can't obviously do that alone. You guys help me to reach more people than I can ever do by myself. So I appreciate you guys. I thank you guys. I wish you the best. Keep fighting the good fight, because I know I will. Thank you again. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Change Your Mindset podcast. Be sure to tune in every week for a new episode. As always, change your mindset to change your life.